Welcome into webinar number 1 in the series of Solutions for Common Piano Teaching Problems. So appreciate you joining us for this series. This series is really dedicated to focusing on solutions to those really pesky piano teaching issues that crop up often as we work especially with beginners and also with transfer students. And I think many of you might know of some of these issues that come up time and time again that we are always doing battle with. Sometimes it's a host of issues that we're dealing with. So our topic today is building or reinforcing the concept of the rounded hand at the piano. This is a big one, right? Very nagging issue, especially if you deal a lot with transfer students coming in. How many of you in the audience deal with some transfer students? You can put a thumbs up in the chat. You can just put a yes, okay? How many? I just would like to kind of see a show of hands here of how many people deal with transfer students on a regular basis, okay? Wonderful. Yep. And of course, they come in with all kinds of interesting issues, most of which I find, I don't know if it's in your experience or not, but I find that they come in with this hand position where the fingers flopping all over the place. They have no sense of a strong bridge here in the hand, or maybe perhaps they start with a nice rounded hand, but they tend to fall away and everything starts to fall apart and they drag their hand off the keyboard as they start playing like this. Yeah, you've noticed that kind of thing? Let me know. By the way, I do have some videos for you as well. So we're either in one of two places when we're working with these students. We're either in the process with a beginner of building a good habit of the rounded hand, right? Or we're breaking a bad habit that came in perhaps like this and trying to erase that and then build a better suited hand for stronger performance at the piano. Now, I just want to say that just mere reminders and asking for students to do this nicely will not produce results. Never has in my history, okay? Because they'll just go along with you and go, and they hear what you're saying and they just nod politely, right? But then the rounded hand position fails to appear at the next lesson and then at the next lesson, and you just keep asking, and nothing arises, right? Who's been there? Let me know. That's happened to me many times. And I feel like I get in a situation with students where I'm pestering like crazy. And I really want to stop doing that. Okay. I just don't want to pester if I have to. So when it comes to an overhaul of technique, especially such an essential like the rounded hand, you have to really convince the student of the necessity of the rounded hand. And if you don't convince them how important it really is to their success, they will not be invested at all in the end result. Okay, so I'll just repeat that one more time. You have to convince them how important it is. They have to know there's a good reason for this to happen when they go to the piano every day. And I often teach from this perspective of purpose and rationale whenever I'm working with my students. Always explaining the importance, giving them the why in order to prove to them how beneficial it really will be, especially with my transfer students. And I'll talk about some detailed things as we go along with regard to transfer students. So for instance, pardon me, I might say to a student, and of course we all know that students want to play fast someday, right? Most kids will tell you they just can't wait to play fast. I was the same way. Here I was plugging along a middle C and quarter notes and half notes, and I was just like, how long is it going to take me to get to this next level that I saw with other students in the studio? So I often tell students, and I'm not sure many of you can see the keyboard, but I'll arrange it. I'll just do something quick while I'm sitting with them here at the keyboard, and I'll say, I'll just do quick little scales and say, the reason we want the rounded hand, and I'll play some quick, rapid scale passages like that, is because it's so essential for efficiency when we want to skate around the keyboard like this. very, very quickly. We want to be able to play fast, but for the sake of efficiency and really moving those fingers quickly, we need to have this rounded hand. And they see me doing it here and they go, oh, okay. They start to see it. And you'll love it, I'll tell them. That day when you can finally play fast and sound awesome and just amaze your friends. And of course, that's what they want to do. Okay. Hello, Helena. Thanks for joining. So we know I do that immediately. You know, in order to play fast someday, we need to have this in place. Also important, and I'll screen this up a little bit, for us to have this rounded position because we're dealing with keys that are what? Absolutely level, of course, excluding the black keys, but for the most part, they're level in early stages of study. They're playing in the key of C and G, right? And in order for us to handle this level platform with our 5 fingers are not level at all, right? So what do we have to do to make them level to a flat surface like this? Well, we have to reshape them until all the fingers align up with each other like this. And I'll show this to them. Okay. All right. So what I really like to do when I show this even alignment on a level surface is I love to get my pencil out like this. And I will ask them, place your 5 fingers on the pencil like this. I'll demonstrate first. And of course, they'll see, I hope I can get this in camera, that my thumb is on the side tip right there. Okay. So they're all level on an even playing surface with thumb on its side tip. And they say that's where the thumb has to sit in order for all fingers to be level. So I sometimes include this in their practice at home. I'll say, you know, as part of their warm up when they first sit down and get postured and everything, set your hands on your pencil like this, and then draw that down over to the keyboard like this. Okay. And then do it with the left hand and maintain it in the air and take it over and place it on the 5 fingers. Okay. It's a great way to do location on the keyboard geography as well. Find the C position this way, put your thumb on middle C, and so forth, but have them start here. So that's one of the things I do with a lot of my transfers in my baby beginners as well.